Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer race fans. We have a terrific matchup for you tonight. Got a pod race featuring Jaylow7 versus LifeReboot. Go over a few things you guys might want to know about this race before it gets started. They decided to do a party draft. In this party draft, LifeReboot took a fighter, Jaylow took a white mage and a black mage, and LifeReboot decided to follow it up with a thief. So we have a standard party makeup. Let's look at some of the bonuses and negatives we've got. Those fighters, they can swing that X-Cal early. Good, strong weapon. Not a Vorpal sword, but it'll work. Extra 20 magic defense. Nobody can complain about that. But they do lose a little bit of vitality, so those HP increases might be a little bit slow. And we're also looking at the thief has black belt vitality. It's going to be kind of beefy if they choose to keep it alive. An extra vitality on top of that. And black mage strength, so they ain't going to be hitting nothing very hard anytime soon. See, the white mage here has extra magic defense, so we are just stacking up the magic defense tonight. We are not going to be worried too much about spells. Well, 7 luck for some extra incentive there. But then we're also going to lose 1 magic defense per level up. Black mage is going to start out with an extra 40 vitality. Huge increase. And more magic defense. But we're going to lose 4 max MP spell slots. So we're not going to have as many sweepers, tempers, or fasts as we may like. Overall, both parties are going to have a pretty solid lineup. Nobody complains about mages and a fighter thief, so we should be in for a treat. They should have a pretty standard run. No big cogs thrown in the wheel. My name is Solar Axis. I am joined by Saracen. Saracen? How do we pronounce your name?
You got it.
All right. And we are going to bring this race to you tonight, which will be started in just a minute or so. So, Saracen, how are you feeling about these team makeups?
That looks pretty standard, I would say. This is, if there's a meta developing for the pods so far, this is hewing pretty close to it. We've seen a lot of black belts lately. Some fears about rude Tophers, but, Fighter Thief is a solid melee lineup. You've got your Thief for agility up front and the run chance. With the extra vitality on that Thief, that's like the biggest weakness of the Thief in general. So, depending on what we find, we could see some pretty, I would say, even odds of the Thief and the Fighter being the melee carry of choice. Cure 4, level 1 white. Ooh. Lit 3, Ice 3, Temper. That looks like a full Black Mage loadout.
Yeah, it's great seeing that Tempers early, so we know we're going to have it, but we have 4 less charges of it with these Malices.
So, one thing I'd like to point out here is those are some amazing spell loadouts for when we promote. The Fighter being able to pick up Cure 4 when it becomes a Knight is huge. So if we see early tail, early floater, that could be a significant boon when we get into the later stage of the game. On the Thief side, having 4 charges of Temper is a really big deal.
I think it's going to be required that they find that tail in class change if they want to have access to as many Tempers as they can, because we're only going to have 5 on that Black Mage.
Loose 1, we have an Oxyale out of the top left room of Toph.
Too bad we're nowhere near using it yet.
Well, this is sort of a mixed blessing. We start looking at this from the standpoint of how many boxes do we actually need to check? When you find an early loose, you kind of wish that you had the black belt in your party, because you start caring less about those boxes. You sort of gamble, well, if it's a tail or a saber gauntlet, it's less important. But yeah. I saw a rod. Did you see what the other incentive item was from the king?
It looks like it's a canoe.
Ooh, early canoe is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we might see this seed taking us to force us to early ice cave and volcano.
And a key for sale for only 1126 out of the Canaria item shop. That is fantastic. LifeReboot making the exact play that I was thinking he would, which is, well, I bought a key, it's time to go use it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you can get some early money for those spells or some early gear for that fighter, it'll help it a long way.
Jaylow left without seeing the key. Oh, we're back. We're back. We're checking. So we did get a pile of money out of those boxes. Jaylow is going to be real happy that he reset right there. This could have been a bad turn had that not happened. Nothing too inspiring out of the armor shop here. Neutral chainmail, eh? Silver sword +2 is pretty decent though. I'd put that on a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I don't worry too much about that first shot because usually I'm going to hit it on my way back from Provoca if I have extra money to pick up more heal pots before I head towards Marsh and all that other nastiness. So, you know, it's a here. He could have checked it later. He could have checked it now. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference.
But I think the canoe throws a wrench into that. You know, you have the option of skipping straight from Provoca down to Crescent if you want to follow that path. And with was it Ice and Lit 3 in level 1, you can certainly handle the river encounters on the way down. Getting a Harm 3, Fog 2 maybe? Yeah, Fog 2 played a really interesting role in a race a couple of days ago where we saw Rich Bork narrowly get out of Ice Cave from a 7-pack of unrunnable wizards by casting Fog 2, keeping the fighter and the white mage alive to get out of there. Jaylow heading up to Matoya's cave. Meanwhile, we're getting the pirates out of LifeReboot. Nothing in Matoya's cave worth keeping.
Got an urban Provoca off those pirates. That's a good early check item.
So, we didn't have a whole lot of saving items in Canaria, but the housing market is, I would say, 1971, roughly, with the sub 600 gold houses.
I think you love to see that, especially if you have 2 mages in your party, because you can just buy a whole bunch of those early and not have to worry about going back to town very often.
And with that -4 max MP Malice on the Black Mage, they become that much more useful. LifeReboot is thinking about making that play towards Crescent, I think. I don't know if you want to stop in Ice Cave on the way. You're a little low for that yet. But you could certainly think about it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to jump into Ice Cave in the single-digit levels. I'd like to at least get level 10 or 11 on my party before I try to make that run, just because it is such a long run.
It's a dangerous dungeon. And we don't really have a whole lot of tools outside of level 1 magic, right?
At least that we've seen so far. That's another reason why I like swinging back through Elfland. Getting those level 3 and 4 spells just gives you more options when you get to those longer dungeons.
Right. And with the Crescent Lake incentive being basically free, you know, we can jump in here, we can check our armor shop, our weapon shop if we really need to. Silver +1 at 4K is not bad, but that's all the money. You don't have money for spells all of a sudden. Fade at level 6. That's unfortunate. And we get a slab. Womp womp. So from here, it looks like the herb turn-in into elf locked is a reasonable play. LifeReboot taking advantage of that long-ish run off the hard reset. Was that damage or death touch? It may
I
have
believe
been
that
death
was
touch.
just straight damage.
Oh, okay. Okay, we have money, we have a ribbon, we have more money, and we have an Ice Sword -2. Ice Sword -2, not particularly inspiring, but apparently deemed better than the silver. And ribbon staying on the fighter for now. That's interesting.
Looks like we get to blow some stuff up with our friendly dwarves soon.
Indeed.
Oh, the Mad Ponies have frost. That is not fun to see early on. And Dazzle. Oh, those Mad Ponies are mean tonight.
Yeesh. I got wall at level 3 white, but I did not catch what level 3 black was. A lot of A things, and not a lot of inspiration out of 4 level white, but we have nuke at level 4. Lock 2 if we're so inclined. I think with the MP Malice, you probably don't take Lock 2 if you can possibly avoid it in that spot.
I mean, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find an item that'll cast Lock 2 for you anyways, so not always the best way to grab that stuff.
The other thing that I just toss out real quick here is Jaylow is walking right on by the Toph locked chests, which I've seen loosen them even today. Getting good money out of the opening dwarf chests though. Goodbye, Hooray Dwarf. We release you from your one-word misery. Oh, warp and fast at level 3. Heck yeah. LifeReboot, meanwhile, heading down to the Marsh incentive. A Vorpal +1. That's almost a sword. I have feelings about the Vorpal. Did you know that?
I mean, I'm still going to like a +1 Vorpal over a -2 Ice Sword.
That's fair. That I will agree with that. We get a free pro ring on Jaylow7 and a temper helm. That is huge.
And all of a sudden, we're not as worried about that -4 max MP on those level 1 Black Mage slots right now.
Absolutely. That temper helm is really big, especially since it gives, you know, one of your non-damage dealing melee, or you know, if you're rolling the fighter as your primary melee, your thief can sit there and use the temper helm instead of having the fighter use a saber bonk.
Or if you find both, you can use both and hit chaos really hard, really fast.
Well, LifeReboot has picked up the cube out of the Marsh incentive and is down a few party members. We'll have to go back to the party member store, pick them back up. These are stun touch wolves. Stun touch werewolves are not so fabulous.
makes it a lot more questionable if we're going to get out of here with that cube.
Yeah. Oh, there was a heal 3 with that wall at level 3 white magic. He does escape the horrid werewolves.
For now, we could see them again. Oh, does he have enough charges of warp? Well, at least get out of the dangerous areas.
I mean, until you're actually out, they're all dangerous areas. Unless there's scums that are dealing between 0 and 1 damage a swing. Okay.
So it's looking like if we want to get out of the inner sea, we are going to need to go to either volcano or ice cave.
Sure looks that way. Or Toflocked. We haven't seen those 3 chests yet. Well, we also haven't seen the TNT turn in, because Jaylow didn't have the TNT, and LifeReboot hasn't made it up to Dwarf yet.
Oh, yeah.
Z-Man saying it in chat right as I was thinking it, so... LifeReboot doubting the payout of turning in the TNT and looting the Dwarf Armory saves before going all the way down there. I think it was actually to get a warp charge back. He hadn't... We get lazy dwarves! Excellent! But I think LifeReboot hadn't used a house yet, and therefore didn't have any warp charges left, and wanted the quick way out of this place. Alright, Jaylow has cleaned up Elf Castle. We shall find out what the dwarves hold for us today. It's a canal. So yeah, looks like we're chasing a loose or going to ice. And there goes LifeReboot chasing a loose.
Oh, that's a lot of mummies.
It is. It's actually a fantastic tile for experience when you have nukers who get turn order. But we're seeing the downside of this. Okay, the nuke goes out. It sweeps the board, it looks like. So we're a little bit better off now, because the fighter and the black mage just jump from 8 to 11. Yeah, I'm keeping those levels if I'm LifeReboot. Those are handy levels to have when you're about to head into ice or volcano. Turn order! Yay! Almost enough. Do the jerk birds do jerk things? No, it does not look like they will. Okay. If the fighter runs from this, it's going to be extremely sad, because that was a 5. Okay. We're good.
Yeah, he didn't do that this time.
It's the FFR special, you know, you Ooh, we're taking a mini grind here, which is ambitious.
A little too ambitious.
Sometimes your gambles don't pay off. It's okay. We still kept the level 11 bump. And we didn't really lose anything from those chests. I think it was like 1,000 gold and a tent. So...
Oh,
no, we're going back.
Grind
We're
again?
going back for this. What? Why? he remembers he can use the tile on the lower side of this. So it could be getting some extra spell charges. It could be getting the extra hit points. There's a lot of things that you could want walking into Ice Cave, and I don't know if LifeReboot is planning to stay on this 2-man. But
I would think you would want the White Mage up for this to get them some early spell levels too. They didn't have the worst spells available, so they could be useful.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like we saw a couple of things on the White Mage. It's not bad to have the White Mage, but it's certainly better to have the... Man, it's hard to say. Like, what you could get access to on the night past that Cure 4 was not super inspiring. Meanwhile, Jaylow getting down to that cube as well. I don't know what you're trying to live through with these levels, right? I mean, it's certainly faster than taking a pop grind. That's certainly something you can say about this. And yeah, as Guardian Marcus points out, the -4 MP Malice is kind of cutting into the effectiveness of these levels. The other downside is that we look at the Black Mage, there's nothing that's impacting luck, which means that as the Black Mage is leveling up, their run chance is progressively getting worse. That's just sort of an artifact of how our luck scaling on the Black Mage works versus the equation for running.
And while you do need some levels on the fighter to make them, worthwhile going for these long dungeons like Ice Cave and Volcano, you're also, the more you level up early, the more you're losing those night level ups instead of the fighter level up.
I agree there. But, maybe you're thinking, I'm not going to count on finding the tail, and as such, I'm taking these fights so that I don't have to worry about that. It's so painful to have that be the mindset when you're looking at a level 1 Cure 4 in a night learnable slot. But I understand the logic of it. It makes sense. Do we go to the party member store? We go to the house store. That counts for something.
We just bought a whole neighborhood right there.
Yeah. We do go to the party member store. Fantastic. I do like what we just saw there. The housing market is so cheap that rather than walk back into town to use the inn, LifeReboot just uses a house immediately outside of Canaria. I mean, it is like...
I do that all the time when I have a stack of houses.
It's a nice flex if you got it. But the bigger thing is that walking into town takes time. So yeah, using the house, even just outside of a town, is a time save. Jaylow making it in to Crescent Lake is going to be disappointed by, I think it was the slab here?
It was. He may be a little disappointed to see that slab, but even though these two took different paths, they're pretty much at the same exact place progression-wise now.
There's, I would say, a bit of an advantage to LifeReboot for having the extra levels at this point. And, being a little further down the path. Not significantly further, but a little bit.
Looks like we're going to be doing everything we can to keep that Black Mage alive for this run. We are moving all the armor that he can wear onto him and equipping it, so hopefully he survives.
Ditto for the fighter. Nothing scary so far. Oh, Cat Claw. You're so sad, and then you roll -2 on top of it. One big advantage that LifeReboot has here is if he doesn't feel like dropping down to do the lower level chests, he can just warp trick his way out of this. Does look like he's going to check some number of chests, though. Parrotlists with heal 3. This is a fantastic way to watch the... Oh, poison!
Oh, poison!
Ah!
Well, we're back to the Fighter and Black Mage show. I'm glad we stopped by the Party Resurrection store. It didn't last long.
Yep. We're going to check the 6-pack. We're going to wish we had Fire 3. We're going to get our ship. We're going to bounce out real quick.
And the Opal Gauntlet was a +3, so if we ever do a class change, that's a nice piece of armor to throw onto the knight there.
I mean, kinda. You'd rather see a pro ring there just because of the death resistance. Jaylow about to make that same dive. Okay, so LifeReboot is deciding on, well, I'm here at Volcano-ish area, so I'm going to do this. The boat should be up at Provoca for having been found in the ice cave. So, you know, sailing a bit away from your boat, but we'll see what happens here. Was literally nobody's favorite enemy from polling we did last year at spring tournament time.
Ooh, the Peds?
No, the Argoyles. The Argoyles definitely did not come into any variety of contention. There were 0 votes for them as favorite enemy. I voted for the good friend Jim, who only appears in the Temple of the Fiends Revisited. Good old Jim Mara.
I do like his color scheme. It's a lot better than Chimera.
Loose Ruse Stick out of the worst chest in Volcano. That's heartening.
It's a good piece of knowledge. Now we know there's no reason to check any more chests.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we can't pass up that sweet memory.
We need gear. There's a ribbon. Will Bloodworth, I understand. I only tolerate mancats when I have nuke or zap. That zombie detail is kind of nice. It's just not nice enough at this stage. Oh, catmen or whatever. They don't have any resistances to speak of. It's just mancats resist all of your elements, except for time. We have reached the point where the Peds run away. Jaylow, meanwhile, working on some sorcerers here. Still has everybody alive, so hasn't hit any of the terrible encounters yet. LifeReboot going back in is going to finish out this volcano.
We got the tools to do it. We have usable weapons. We have fast temper. Should be doable as long as Carrie isn't packing a nasty script on the seed.
There's not a lot that Carrie could be packing script-wise that I would be worried about with 2 ribbons and decent armor. The problem would be if she rolled up and she smashes the Black Mage on turn 1 with some ridiculous hits. Or we get something MDEF related that they don't resist. But there's just not a whole lot that could hit for that. Yeah, Will Bloodworth, the housing market's roughly in 1971. We've got under 600 gold per house, so... that's a Zap Gauntlet. I'm a fan. It is not an equipable one, which is sad, but, you know, here we are.
Well, I mean, the thief's not going to be equipping anything anytime soon, so it can probably sit on him for quite a while.
Well, I think that it got moved over to the fighter to have an AoE option. So we are seeing more chests out of ice via Jaylow here. These are chests that LifeReboot skipped over because of the warp trick. It's a nice shield +3, that's not bad. Otherwise, just some cash. Whatever. Oh, this must have been on the way out. There must have been a warp trick
Well,
earlier.
Carrie is packing quite a punch. That fighter is down.
Yeah! Yep, that'll do it. We're going again. So that is a little bit helpful to Jaylow. This dungeon's still very fast. There wasn't a whole lot of interesting things to pick up on the way down, so I don't think LifeReboot's going to be spending a whole lot of time here. And Jaylow headed right in the direction of Provoca to pick up that ship and get out of here.
Well, I mean, we do have some interesting options from here. He could run up to our deals. He could check out Sea Shrine, see if there's anything good gear-wise in there. Maybe even take on a Kraken if he gets some good fights. Check out Waterfall. We have a lot of options that are not Volcano, and he looks like he wants to explore them.
Yeah, and I mean, even just like we have a rod, we can do Earth. Like things like that are not bad. I think Earth is logical for the levels, but you kind of want to pair that with the Ruby so you can go over to Sarda as well. And also, Jaylow doesn't have the knowledge of the second loose, so that colors some things. But we are at least going to check level 5 magic. Cure 3 is nice with the enhanced cures. We get Bane and Brack at level 5? I mean, to me those are shrug levels. I don't feel very strongly pulled towards any of those spells.
Well, we have Lit 3, we have Nukes, so we have Sweepers, we have Fast, we have Temper. I think I wouldn't even be checking these black magic shops at this point.
We have bigger problems in that Life Reboot's fighter is down. We're going Ruse Stick. We're going Ruse Stick on... Oh, okay, Blizzard. We have a ribbon. It doesn't matter. 3 hits, 102. That's, you know, that's real damage. We are fully rused. We are extra rusing. We're holding down the zap key. Zap, I mean... 3 and 256? Carrie's MDef is through the roof. I don't believe in this, other than 3 and 256. You might be better off just nuking her. Damage poison? That's not so great. I will say, Life Reboot has played far more trash than me. The amount of garbage seeds that Life Reboot has subjected himself to far exceeds my own. Maybe
we got a crit through the ruse right there. 141. That black mage is not long for this world, and he's down.
Oh. Yeah, Fizzle's correct here. Bottom slot is not looking so great. So now that that point of time just given over to Jaylow, a little bit more poignant.
Well, and Life Reboot is not short of options right now, and he is diving this for a third time all the way to the bottom. What is the thinking behind not, going for Earth Cave for the incentive item, because we have access to it with the rod, the incentive item in Ordeals? There's a lot of options he has, and he knows that the second loose is here. He doesn't have to stay here. He can come back with the floater, so that's what I'm trying to understand about this third attempt to dive carry.
I think Time Walker Lightbringer bringing up the good point of, sometimes it's easy to be stubborn about these things. I bit off more than I can chew, but I'm a man and I'm going to chew through it. Alright, we're back with 2 people. Did we jiggle enough equipment? We did not jiggle enough equipment. Ruh-roh. We forgot to move the ruse stick. That was 291 to the fighter. Fighter swings back 197. Fighter goes down. Nukes for 113. Carry nukes
about
for
400 damage in.
Terminated. Okay. Oh baby. Now we move the ruse stick. Insert Eddie Murphy meme here. Alright. First orb on the board at just shy of 37 minutes. We almost headed back to ice. Okay. At this point, Time Walker Lightbringer, I think that this is a moral victory. Whether or not it was worth it in the sense of, the time is not so much the point as we finished it. It is done. We are solo black maging it. None of this fighter stuff. Okay, we're getting our party back. Jaylow
Find
hitting
another
up a
neighborhood
vampire.
while we're there.
Well, I mean, you gotta, right? Jaylow has taken down the vampire and is going down to the incentive floor. In this flag set, we have the incentive item of Earth being placed behind gating, which means it's in one of 8 chests. There is the 3rd ribbon of the seed right there. So we have 5 in the in this area. Oh, and there is the bottle. Okay, so Earth incentive doing us a whole lot of no good. Starting to look like ordeals or waterfall for our next play.
Looks like we are buying all the pro rings up over for LifeReboot here in Melman.
Cannot blame. Very important play.
Well, Puna the Bear, we are glad to have you. We have lots of games coming up. We still have lots more to come. I know there's a few more on the slate for tomorrow, and I think there's some on Wednesday. And I'll be having my next match next Monday.
Jaylow looks to be moving over towards the Lich's bedroom chests.
Well, Z-Man, one of the reasons you took a thief, even with this malice, is that they still give you the initiative and the better chances to run away. So they have their uses, especially in the very early game. But, at the same time, it was a party draft. He could have just chose it because maybe he thinks the other runner won't enjoy having one in the party. There's a lot of different reasons why they could have chosen the thief.
One other thing to keep in mind is that Black Mage strength growth is not that penalizing of a malice. Strength is not a huge contributor to your damage. It's nice. I mean, it's like a free temper in the long run if you go like super high. But because it's the growth and not the, a straight penalty, or it's not that big of a deal. And you can overcome it with temper. And Will Bloodworth saying exactly it. Hit percent is a big deal. Living through the encounter is a big deal. Like, you can get nuked pretty easy with vanilla thief vitality hit points. The amount of vitality on this thief is gigantic.
Alright, Jaylow's going to take on Lich, see if we have any surprises in store for us on this one.
Well, we're locking and we're fasting, so just a punch out of Lich in round 1, that's good. Yeah, Will Bloodworth, I am unfortunately going to inform you that the Katana rolled -2 and the Vorpal +1, which means that the Vorpal is still not quite as good as that Katana, but, it's trying. It's trying its best, Will. It's the thief tax.
And Jay gets a level while also clearing his first orb.
Alright, 1 orb apiece, but LifeReboot hot on Jaylow's tail here. LifeReboot also going to have all 3 of those ribbons once he walks back up to that chest. There was a moment of regret as he opened it, he didn't pick it up, and then he processed, oh yeah, that was important. It happens to everybody, and at the speed that he goes through the menus and whatnot, it doesn't surprise me at all. He's going fast. Jaylow now making the volcano play. Can you believe it, Solar? That LifeReboot's Thief and White Mage are still alive at the end of a dungeon?
You know, sometimes miracles really do happen, Saracen. I mean, also, we know that there's absolutely nothing really scary in this Earth Cave, so it's believable.
So the best news there was the troll immediately in front of the orb. That really does sell the authenticity of the troll. Interfering one mere button press before you could address the actual boss. Okay, LifeReboot's up to 2 orbs. Jaylow has got an armory floor to loot out.
And Jaylow is oh, nope, we're going back to fighting it. He fought it one round with just punches, didn't do much, decided to run, and then went back and decided to kill this thing off anyways.
Maybe Jaylow's feeling a little light on the levels at this point. I don't know. We're getting an Ordeals play out of LifeReboot.
Oh, Zombie D's have squint. I don't think we saw that before.
I don't know, but, we had the ability to purchase pro rings already, so that shouldn't be super scary. I don't know if you saw it, but the 4-pillar section of the maze, it was the first pillar. Fizzle, what did you roll here? With this kind pillar maze not sending our runners to the 4th pillar. That was a temper stick.
Yep, we have another source.
Not only that, but it is the superior source by being a weapon instead of an armor. And we get a crystal out of our incentive box here.
And Jaylow finding that second loose item.
So that's got to be a big relief, right? No longer having to fear your loose items. We've seen a number of races that have been determined by those loose. So having that taken out of the equation is good news for both of our runners. Not that we're gonna stop checking boxes until we have the goods.
And luckily, he's still going to check the armory, so he will find that extra ribbon.
And saber gauntlets from Matoya.
Oh, the perilous nuke.
Oh. Oh no.
I did not know they did that. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen plenty of the pink birds, but we have not seen them nuke. That is terrible.
Was it the cockatrices that had heal 3 and damage poison?
No, perilous had heal 3 too. I don't think the cockatrices had anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that was a second turn nuke out of them?
First turn.
No, heal 3 was the first spell in the birds with heal 3.
Oh, maybe it was second turn.
Could have been a failed run attempt. I'll be honest, I only saw it when I looked over and saw a whole party lying on their face. Because at that point they collectively shared one face. Alright, we're getting a waterfall check. We have an Oxyel, we can go do Kraken after this. I certainly think we have the resources to do a Kraken after this. We have a chime.
So we have access to Sky Castle now through the Mirage Tower. Looks like we still need a loot though before we can talk about go mode.
Well, so here's sort of the situation on that. We appear to be heading towards a floater in sky. Because we don't have access to any other incentive locations at this point, to my knowledge, because we don't have a ruby to get to Sarna. We have all of our loose. So that leaves Bottle and Slab to turn into logical, ruby to Sarna sort of thing. Also Crown. So something is going to chain over to the tail out of this, and something is going to chain to the loot. Or it's going to be one big chain towards one of those items. So I'm pretty sure we have to have Floater in Sky. Now, I agree with LifeReboot's play here. He's already on Onrak. Let's finish Onrak and get out of here. And we'll be good. That is definitely a possibility, Ale.
It's not a fun possibility, but it's a possibility.
Okay, we're getting a full loot out of our volcano on Jaylow's side. Meanwhile, partial loot out of C on LifeReboot's side. The Sharknado floor has come and gone. We're microwaving some lobster. LifeReboot runs away from one of my favorite XP encounters in the game. Makes me feel very sad when those big eyes live. And calamari on screen. We're going into buff the fighter strats. Kraken inks. You call that an ink defense?
We threw just about every buff that's in the game on him in one round, so we'll see how it goes for him.
Blaze coming out. 6 hits, 576. That's a number, okay. We're still leaning into these temper the fighter strats. 5 hits, 847. Down goes the Kraken. Sashimi for all.
Oh, Ruzensoft, such a disappointing spell check.
Yeah.
Alright, we can see how Jaylow handles this carry fight now.
So as I recall, this carry had some very scary skills, but there are 7 or there are 3 ribbons. There are 7 ribbons. There are 3 ribbons and an optional wall. The option has been taken. We have fully walled the party. The thief manages to live through a punch. I'm honestly impressed.
Already starting out with 350 damage from the fighter there. We're looking good for this one.
Mm-hmm. 6 hits, 156. Cure 3 goes up to the thief. Temper from the thief. 5 hits for 47 from carry.
We're at about 650 damage on this carry now. It's going to be going down this round.
That's the hope, at least. There it goes. Just a harm 3. Jaylow's up to 2 orbs. LifeReboot up to 3 orbs. That was a fast sword. And a fast shirt. This is illegal.
Why don't I ever get any seeds like this?
We're speedrunning Sky. We almost tried to wait through this encounter with a single Medusa. That would have been hilarious. Jaylow enjoying the creatures of the river. And by that I mean, ah! Well, Ale, this was rolled by Fizzle, so I think it's a sponsored seed.
So do we have enough sources of fast and temper now that any one of these characters could land the killing blow on Chaos?
Oh, sure. Why not? Black Mage, get to it. I believe in you. You don't often get to see... But there was the other temper helm. Because it was replacing the heal helm. The best part about this is trying to figure out what you're going to drop in order to keep this.
Well, we're definitely not class changing because LifeReboot has dropped almost every night wearable piece of armor for these fast stuff and temper items.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. Okay, stop axe, lit 2 axe, or stick, or whatever. It's fine.
Oh, habit got the better of him. Jaylow waded through a fight.
Black mages, if we ever saw life 2 on a weapon, I would be very concerned, because that would only work if you had another flag turned on. You can't use that out of battle, only in battle. Arm 2 stick, eh? Feels light axe, but stickier. Is LifeReboot one of those deviants who goes 1 to the left, 2 up, and then another 1 to the left?
Yep.
Jaylow onto the maze. It's amazing.
Welcome to Tiamat Fight, sponsored by Oprah. You get a temper, you get a temper, everybody gets a temper.
So I will say that with all of the items that have been found, there's only 2 services this Black Mage is providing currently, and those are Nuke and Lock. We have no items for Lock, not that we're missing that, really, but we have 3 Temper items and a Saber Bonk, 2 Fast items. Like, this is gross, and I love it. It's funny that you actually want the hit points on the rest of the party members. There is another temper stick. Oh my god. We have tempers for days. Oh wait, that's Jaylow's temper stick for the first time. Sorry. You get to the point at this point where you're just like, how do I have enough hands for all these items? I need to keep my party members up so that they can hold items in the air? What is this? We shall see how many pirates get in the way of our skyboat. Trolls making yet another appearance for LifeReboot to remind him of this seed's roots. And at the slightly over 101 minute mark, we're getting a skyboat.
Yeah, Black Mage 756. Spellcasting is optional in the seed.
Mm-hmm. That was gold plus 3s. Yeah, I'm doing exactly what LifeReboot is doing in this case. Jaylow making the way up to the waterfall.
The thing is, LifeReboot dropped 3 of his silver bracelets and only bought 2 gold rings, so now that fighter has no main armor piece.
Whoops. There is an unfortunate ruby. LifeReboot did translate the slab long ago after coming out of Earth, so... That is correct, Black Mages. We are very much ruby optional at this point, with both loose found and a skyboat to bring us to a hermit cave.
Alright, we learned your language. What do we get? We get a crown. We get a crown for learning a language.
My personal favorite item from the Lupa Lupa land is when they give you the TNT and tell you to avenge the Sky Warriors with it. Alright, Jaylow's got a chime. Jaylow is that many steps closer to the truth and ending.
And LifeReboot is going to check to see what this crown gives him. He may be looking for the tail.
You know, it's still looking at the loot. We are finding the tail. Wait, nuke. There we go. Get a swing in there. 3 hits, 56 damage. Down goes Astos.
See, I told you he was looking for the tail.
I mean, looking for and finding are two different things. So we're gonna beat up this old man and take his musical instrument. He's been practicing his whole life. Now we're leaving him destitute.
Well, he didn't have a permit to perform in that cave, so it's really his fault, right?
LifeReboot is going to promote. Okay. That's not super expected given how much gear has had to be thrown away for the sake of this, all of these caster items.
I mean, if you already have the tail, I don't see why not. You're probably going to get 1 to 3 levels just going all the way down to chaos, so there's some extra increases you might not get otherwise.
I certainly hope the Night Cure 4 is remembered. This is looking like a very vestigial promotion. Oh wait, we have a katana and a Vorpal +1. These are things that exist and are important.
But no, we're not remembering the Cure 4.
I mean, it's not really at a point that's super relevant. We jiggle some more equipment, and we go back. Jaylow finds a 7-pack of lobsters. It feels like being pinchy.
At least they're not casting ice 2.
Or fire 3. They appeared to be runnable. That counts for a lot too.
Thank you for the hugs, Lord Fizzlebeef. You understand my pain.
Lobsters are jerks. They're usually bigger jerks than the jerk birds.
The only thing I will say that is worrisome for LifeReboot here is that he doesn't have Invis 2, so he can't quickly raise the evasion of everybody, and the armor situation on some of these characters is not the greatest, so he does risk losing some party members on his way down here to Chaos.
I mean, you always run the risk, especially when party members are level 14. So, I mean, it's a concern, but like, how much of a concern can it be? Yeah, that's exactly it. Is we don't have life, and we know that Nuke exists. and that there's only 2 party members that are guaranteed to live through that nuke. But we have Bane as well, so the thief is no longer a thing. Meanwhile, the Kraken Tails. It's like DuckTales, but a lot scarier.
Alright, Ruse fast temper for oh, the white mage is down.
We're rapidly losing people who can hold up item magic. So Squid 1 goes down for Jaylow, and we have lit the water orb, we have revived the party. We're being disappointed by Ruse at 7th level. I really do like how this black mage has more health than the knight.
Oh, plus 40 vitality has a pretty good effect on the early game.
It's true, and you know, there's all sorts of things that can mess with hit points in the bonuses and malices. We saw the black belt vitality growth on the thief. It's good, but it's not the same effect as just straight up having plus 40 vitality.
Ruse and fast coming in.
Just chip damage so far, that's good. 7 hits 100 coming out of the night. Ooh. The temper helms must continue. Damage poison does tickles. We're going to need roughly 9 more of those tickles to get the 10 tickles. Jaylow looking for Sky. Gets caught in the little fake out bay. But we got it. LifeReboot is through Kraken 2. Onto the frequently scarier Tia 2, who just lives longer. Ooh. That's a T-bone that has put the white mage at 1 life on Jaylow's side. Hits 277. That's a little bit of a scary opening from this Tia 2. We're going drink strats. Our black mage is in serious peril. Our black mage is no longer a black mage.
He's just cleaning the floor. They've been partying a long time until for now.
It's true. This is not looking good for our plucky young hero. 7 hits, 470. All right, that's looking okay. Tia did roll a bit thick, but is terminated. We're a few steps away from a chaos floor. The floor would like to speak with us. Rip. That hurts my heart just a little bit. Like, you get through the Kraken 2, you get through the Tia 2, one step after Tia 2, you get that garbage. LifeReboot thinking to himself, perhaps levels are the answer.
Yeah, because that fighter was only doing about 150 per attack on the zombie D, so we're in a
Perhaps
rough
magic
situation
is...
for damage.
Oh, we're realizing that we shorted ourselves a gold bracelet. Is it the gold? It's the steel. We're going with the steel. I like the steel. Are we going straight back? We're going straight back. Jaylow checking greater than less than. Sometimes you find fun things there. Did not appear to find much here. Very sad. Alright, dive 2. Ghasties doing their best to take out a ninja, not quite making it happen. Badbird, I generally agree with that sentiment on the Vorpal. However, it rolled +1, and that's sort of kind of okay, I guess, with the amount of tempers that we have via item magic.
Not to mention, we have no clue where the Sun Sword is. Ice rolled -2. We haven't seen a Flame Sword. We haven't seen a Masamune. There's a lot of things that we haven't seen or don't know where they are that would possibly be better than this, but they're just not there.
I think the real thing, though, is that item magic. We have unlimited tempers ×3 to throw at this fighter every round, as long as we have party members alive. Party members alive is a real struggle, though. We have 2 at 14. They're sub 400 hit points, which, I mean, I'm going to believe that with the White Mage simply because, you know, no vitality bonus, but that thief, or that ninja, rather, could actually have hit points should LifeReboot decide that he wants to give some hit points. The White Mage is hoarding the fast items. Jaylow picks up a Sky Rock. It is Sky Rock Etting. Five hits, 60 damage out of carry 2 onto the Knight on LifeReboot side. That's encouraging. Eight hits, 671. Looks good. Triple Temper goes out just after the nick of time, of course. Jaylow onto the Bridge of Destiny. and carry 2 down on LifeReboot side again.
Jaylow getting ready to take on Tiamat. We'll see how he handles this.
Rack strats, I believe.
They didn't work for me. Hopefully they work for him.
They are not working yet. Ninja down on LifeReboot side, which is very unfortunate. We are working to burn through this Kraken 2 as fast as possible. Brack, ineffective. Fire 2 out of TM at 1. The last Brack. We will have to do damage. It's very sad. Two hits, 159 from the fighter. That's concerning. Meanwhile, LifeReboot is living the dream on Tiamat 2. Just a night doing things. Alright, Tiamat 2 is down again.
And Jay takes down Tiamat 1 with a nice 700 plus damage.
We're back to the Whiz-Vamp and Zombie D encounter, which is doing a number.
But he's not scared, and I remember the Zombie D had something.
It was just punching. The big thing here, okay, there's our third ruse stack. We have a fast and 3 ruses. So only crits are coming through, which is also terrifying. Well, the good thing is, as I recall, Whiz-Vamps don't have a lot of hits, they just hit really hard. So that's actually better in this case, since we are mitigating so much. Okay. The scary pack is down. We're now level 24.
Would you feel confident with a level 24 knight going into Chaos?
Confident is not the word I would use, but I mean, I'm certainly going to give it a go. It's better than dying to a pair of Whiz-Vamps and a Zombie D like had happened on the previous dive. 2 hits, 213. We are already in a hit point scary zone. Quad X comes out. We have a ribbon. It's fine. There's a nuke. We are no longer happy with our situation in life. There's the Cure 4. Lit 2 for chip damage. Chip damage is actually meaningful right now. Bane, ineffective. Saber Gauntlets. Doing Saber Gauntlet things. Ice 2 for 33. This is a little bit scary on the damage side of things. 5 hits, 612. That's pretty good. 7 hits, 814. That's you know, numbers in the right direction. Another quad X. We are still ribboned. There's another nuke, and unfortunately there's another wipe, but we're going back in. Jaylow has found go mode. It is a trumpet this time. That seems like it would be a painful echo inside a cave house. So now, at this point, we are very much equally in go mode, and LifeReboot is saying, I need to find some levels. And I 100% agree with this play. You are not finding them on gargoyles, however. Or the Yote backpack, not so much.
He has those big mummy packs in Topher, or did he forget?
I wouldn't want to grind on those if I could avoid it. I would rather have something a little bit more single encounter, a little bit more juicy. That is not the correct eye. EgoDev, yep, definitely a little underlevel. We have the correct eye. Okay. Our fortunes have changed. So this is a big deal because of how good the level 1 through 4 magic is. With Cure 4 available to the knight in the level 1, I believe one of the heal spells is available as well. Jaylow finding the ruby. We're chasing down that tail on Jaylow's side. I can just see it. And you know, even having a couple of those slots available is just huge relief for when you have actually, you know, gotten deep in.
Oh, wrong eye, wrong direction.
We slipped on a banana peel. We're just getting one spell slot. Okay. One Cure 4 will do it. That is the claim we are seeing from LifeReboot. That is not where you get the Cure 4s.
At least not with this flag set.
That's true. We do have some alternate additional items that you can get. There's 3 different sets. I love that flag. Just doesn't get to see a lot of tournament use because, you know, one of those sets has Life 2 as a consumable. There's another one that has Fast as a consumable, which is a little bit, you know, it's great. I love it. But man, it's not the sort of thing that you necessarily want to have available to everybody all the time.
I mean, I would... Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, unrunnable R and Kylo's on Jaylow's side. That was, for a moment, a little bit of a pain.
I mean, I would totally be down for a flag set for a tourney or something. There was 4 forced black belts with those special items in the game.
I mean, this sounds like the sort of thing that could go onto, say, an Iron Goal sort of thing. You know, just, we're gonna run these flags this one night. It'll be fine. One big group race. Alright. Jaylow going after some tail. Dark Twinge, you may be correct. The main thing is that it actually brings somebody back to life, and you don't really have the option to do that in a lot of seeds otherwise.
Yes, Ego Dev, LifeReboot was rocking 2 level 14 characters that were both basically around 300 or lower health, so they got manhandled as he kept going further down the rabbit hole.
So, I don't like where this dive is headed so far with the ninja already dead. This is suboptimal. Now, being fair to the situation, with the extra 2 levels, the Cure 4 on the night, I think that if he had Cure 4 last attempt, he could have soloed, just man mode with the knight and been good with it. But it's the problem is that it's this early that the ninja's down, that it didn't last until Kraken 2. Alright, Jaylow has promoted. What does Jaylow do from here?
And the White Wizard's down.
Ooh. Suboptimal.
Meanwhile, Jaylow is gonna take his first foray into this lovely Topher.
I think lovely is... I guess it's a word you can use.
I mean, at least the party members have been so interested in the flooring design on this Topher.
That's true. That's true.
They just can't even bring themselves to get back up. They're just like, wow, look at the wood grain, look at the marble work. This is amazing.
One does have to wonder about how ethical archaeologists would be with time travel devices. Because here we are, 2,000 years in the past. We could be taking anything that's not nailed down. There are chests in here.
Vanilla masa placement.
I mean, one can always hope. Alright, Jaylow up to the loot plate just about. Kraken 2, not long for this world. That was over 700 damage from that last swing, and here we go, 565. Down goes Kraken 2. The two-man continues. Ale, I believe you need to check your eyes again. Because that Black Mage has 7 more hit points. Plus 40 vitality is a hell of a drug. Back to my previous point, remember, kids, that the difference between an archaeologist and a grave robber is time.
Ooh, big hit with that 1200 there.
We have 2-man headed up to Topher, or to our chaos fight. This is double the man that we had any of our prior attempts. This is good. This is good news for LifeReboot. Jaylow rounding the corner towards the Lich 2 fight. Speed Bump 2 will fall over pretty quickly. The gap is growing between the knight and the black mage for hit points. We're getting ruses. We're getting nuked. We still have almost 200 hit points on the black mage after a very high roll nuke. The knight is very safe. And also quite tempered. There goes the Cure 4. We're going to drink strats. We're no longer going to drink strats. It's okay. And by that I mean we really need to start thinking about that Cure 4 soon. We're thinking about that Cure 4 soon. Alright, we're back over 500. We're probably in the clear. 4 hits, 284. What is this? Our damage has taken a nosedive. But terminated. 1 hour, 35 minutes, 19 seconds as the official racetime.gg time. Get your GGs out for LifeReboot. With that, Jaylow has decided to forfeit the race. Understandable. This Topher was an experience. We are going to see Jaylow is not going to be available for an interview, but has committed to being in chat, which is, also good. But we are joined in the booth by LifeReboot. GG.
GG, LifeReboot.
GG Jaylow, thank you very much, guys. Some seeds, you play the Pillar Maze and Ordeals so much, you've got it memorized. That time I had Topher memorized. The encounters, I knew exactly where they were each time. Crazy.
The unfortunate first wipe, was it 2 steps after Tiamat or 1?
Yeah, that's that encounter, and I couldn't run all game with my fighter, so I thought, well, let's just swing and hope that I, take it out with my Vorpal +1. But then I thought, in hindsight, no, I probably should have rused through that. Oh well.
Yeah. There was some unfortunate in there. I was doubting that last dive. I will say, I did not have faith when the ninja and the white mage, or white wizard, were down so early.
Yeah, I mean, if that was my first dive, I might reset, but at that point, I had done Volcano 3 times, and I was on my 3rd Topher dive. I knew that I was lucky that Jaylow hadn't already finished,
I definitely understand that, and certainly that Volcano dive early was a pain point, we shall say. What were you thinking as you went down there for the 2nd and 3rd times?
I figured, I'm here. I have both loose already. if I don't have to come back here and I end up doing floaterless or promotionless, if I could just find an X-Cal or a Massa, I wouldn't even need to promote, right? Of course, at that time, I didn't know what Topher was going to be like. But unpromoted fighter could use the X-Cal. So I was opening a lot of boxes, even though I had 3 ribbons and great gear otherwise. Did you see all those temper and fast items? It was insane.
Well, I mean, you only have so many hands when people are, sweeping the floor with their face.
It's true. I couldn't seem to keep my White Mage or my Thief alive most of the game, so...
I mean, there was a bit of, I would say you took good preparation levels before going over to Ice and Volcano with the grind you took on the Wiz Mummy tile in Toph.
Yeah, it was just a opportunistic grind. I had 2 down characters, I had some nuke charges, or some sort of sweeper charges. So I figured, why not?
Well, and it certainly paid out, but by only having 2 party members up, that meant that the White Mage and the Thief never actually got the hit points. So that was a bit of a challenge. Any other areas in the seed where you thought things were a little sideways?
No, just like I said, the volcano issues that I had there definitely got me flustered. And I don't know if you noticed, but one of the battles that I had with Carrie, I forgot to give my fighter the roost stick. Like, I had it on a different character. And it wasn't the first time I was heading into fighter. And just ever since that, I was just so flustered. I was like, okay, I've done this dungeon 3 times. I am feeling behind now, you know what I mean?
I did see the panic in your menuing when that happened, and noted that it had occurred, but you pulled through it on that attempt, if I remember right. So
yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just nuked her down instead of doing those zap strats. But yeah, I guess hindsight is 20/20, like I said.
One question for you, LifeReboot. Did you realize that when you sold all 3 of your silver rings and only bought 2 gold rings, that you left the fighter without a main piece of armor for so long in the game?
He had chain. It was the ninja that didn't have something. The money, like, normally that late in the game, you have the money to afford anything. But at 43k per gold bracelet, it didn't work out. I couldn't buy 3 of them, so I had sold before I bought them, not realizing I wouldn't have the money for it, and just figured, oh well, we'll roll with that.
Whoops. Well, I think I've gotten through my questions here. This was a great race. I really appreciated there was some interesting back and forth. But I think with that, we can go ahead and kick it over to final thoughts. LifeReboot, what you got for us?
Just a real quick GG to Jaylow. This is our second scheduled match because the first time he had some technical difficulties. I didn't want him to not have the opportunity to play. I thought that would be unsportsmanlike, so I'm glad that we got to do this. Watching the last 10 minutes on the delay, looks like he was right behind me. If I had failed that, he would have probably come and defeated me. So I was glad that you got to play. GG to Jaylow, and good luck in the rest of the tournament if you participate in any play-in race or anything like that.
So my COCOM Solar Axis, final thoughts.
I just want to say that while there was a lot of focus, especially on the redives with LifeReboot, Jaylow just played a very solid, steady game. He pretty much caught up to you progression-wise during those dives into Volcano, and then once again when you're diving into Topher and did that grind and everything, he basically caught up and had class changed and was ready to do his first dive. So, kudos to Jaylow. He was solid, steady, consistent. It just, it didn't go his way for him. But he played a good game, and I don't want people to forget that part.
Absolutely. Well, with this, I have been Saracen. I have been in the booth with my fabulous co-commentator Solar, our restreamer, and our tracker tonight, Lord Fizzlebeef. Morphin Borfin, always love hanging out with you, even if you are the silent partner in our room. If you like what you saw tonight, chat, head on over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Join the Discord using the Discord link at the bottom of the page. You can see all the fabulous things that you can do in the randomizer with hundreds of flags. And in the community, you will have all the people who will explain to you how to do the thing. We have our async races. We have the spring tournament. In a few short months, we will have another Duckling boot camp. There's always something happening in the community, so come hang out. We got a great group of people here. And yeah, look forward to seeing you around for the next few races. We do have quite a few things coming up on the schedule in the Tomorrowland, with the first race at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be on a speed gaming channel near you, and that is going to be between ADR and Rubes. We also have 4 matches in the evening, one at 8 p.m. Eastern between Luffy DV and Darren Drives. That's going to be right here on Final Fantasy Randomizer's Twitch. We've got Demon Frog versus Rich Bork at 9 p.m. Eastern on RPG Limit Break. Hate the 13th versus Dark Tide, also 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be on another Speed Gaming channel. And at 10:30 Eastern, Shadow Mr. T versus IB Karma on Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel. So lots of races coming up. There's more on the schedule coming up later this week as well. So I hope you join us for that. And with that, again, I've been Saracen, Solar Axis in the booth with me, Lord Fizzlebeef on the restream and tracking. Thank you all, and have a fabulous night.
Take care, everybody.